Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome to another weekly manga wrap-up. The series, of course, where I just kind of give a small review and my thoughts on the manga I've read this week. So let's get into it. So this week I actually started a new series, and that was the first 4 volumes of Battle Royale. Now, this is a complete series that I got recently on eBay. It's by Tokyo Pop, so they're actually out of print. Although the first maybe 10 volumes aren't so hard to find, it's the last 5 that are like the really difficult ones. But yeah, keep an eye out on eBay. There's normally some lots that pop up quite a lot. I think I was looking for like 6 months or something before I saw it for a decent price. So yeah, I was super excited to get into it. I finally had it. Okay, so this series is actually based on a novel, and it is this big massive book if you've ever seen it. So it's been adapted into 15 volumes of manga. And it's interesting because you can kind of tell it's been adapted from a novel. There's some sections which, there's big kind of info dumps, and then there's scenes where characters are speaking a lot. It's very text heavy, so it's actually quite a slow read just because obviously there's so much information they need to try and get through in 15 volumes. So this series follows a Japanese high school class, and in their world, their idea of like Saturday night telly isn't, the X Factor or Britain's Got Talent. It's something much worse. They have a TV programme called Love Island. Oh wait, shit, is that still us? No, in this society, they have a programme just called The Programme. So every year, this programme sends a group of unfortunate high school students onto a desert island. They're basically given, they're kind of hooked up with this collar, and they're given, food and water supplies and a weapon, kind of lucky dip weapon, and that's them. They're sent off, and basically they are forced to have to kill their classmates, and basically the last person alive is the winner. Now, initially I was drawn to this because I kind of like series where the main characters die. I don't know why, it just kind of keeps things interesting in my opinion. But, I was surprised how realistic this actually felt. Like, you get a little bit of backstory to the main characters, so you kind of can't help but put yourself in their shoes. It's just a horrible situation to be in. Like, you're just put on this island, there's no escape. They kind of show that if you try to escape and jump off the island and swim away, you'll just get shot down, and they can basically click a button at any time, and because you have these collars on, your head will pop off, basically. It's very horrific. Yeah, it was so kind of realistic, because obviously you're going to everyone is like, what the hell is going to happen? We're not going to play this game. Let's team up. Let's just be friends. No one's going to kill each other. But then you get some people in the class who will just go out and play the game. They just kind of accept it for what it is. They know they can't do anything about it, so they just go and they try and win. This series is really good. The plot is very clever, and everything happens. There's so many twists and turns, and it's never what you expect. So obviously you have, some kind of interaction, and you kind of have an idea, okay, that person's obviously going to kill that person, but then there's always a little bit added on that you don't expect. It's very, very clever. So yeah, it is good, but I do need to say that if you are not a fan of gory stuff, definitely this manga is not for you at all. It's absolutely horrific. I'm not going to show anything in the clips. I'm not against gore. I can watch people shoot each other in the face, there's bows and arrows getting through people's eyes and stuff like that. That's fine. I don't mind that. But as soon as the violence gets kind of sexual in nature, that's where I draw the line. I completely cannot consume that media in any way. It's just fucking disgusting. Basically, you can imagine, it's kind of an anime trope that there's always this kind of pervy classmate. He's harmless, but he's a bit of a creep. Well, give that creep a gun and you can imagine what kind of stuff would go on. Yeah, what made this worse is I was reading this on the train into work. I was actually having to hide my book because anyone sitting nearby, it would be like, what the hell are you reading? And I was trying to get through it, and I could feel my breakfast coming up. It was just absolutely disgusting. I just had to stop reading it. I took 2 or 3 days off it. It kind of did put me off. I didn't think they had to go into that much detail. But then after a few days, my mind was like, right, okay, what actually does happen next? Does it get worse? But the way this particular scene played out, I actually thought it was quite well written, and there was, twists and turns I didn't expect. But yeah, so, to summarise my first impressions of this series, it is absolutely horrific, and if you don't like gory manga, do not read it. But if you don't mind that sort of stuff, then it is really quite amazing. I am very invested. But yeah, I can't wait to find out how it goes. So this week I also read books 5 and 6 of Vinland Saga. Basically last week I'd read volumes 1 to 4 and they were completely epic. There was like this really nice kind of conclusion thing, and I think that is a very good place for the anime to end. So this would essentially be season 2 of the anime I'm getting into now, and it's so strange. There is such a change of pace. Like book 5, most of this book is like a slice of life manga, but it's just pure character development. So basically it was last Sunday afternoon, and I just sat on the couch and just sat and read books 5 and 6 the whole afternoon, and it was just a fantastic way to spend my day off. I am really, really enjoying this series. Oh my god, the end of book 5 is, it is so good. Like, it's one of the best things I've ever read. Like, I was tearing up, and it was just, it's so kind of emotional and like psychological and philosophical as well. It's just such a nice mixture, and even watching episode 4 after that, even the opening to episode 4, I was crying just because of like what happens next. Just like the stupidest little moment just got me, and it's clear that I'm so emotionally invested in these characters. Book 6 kind of didn't really go so deep. There was a kind of like different plot that it went through, and it wasn't my favourite book, but it was still overall, super important, and again, there's still a sense of more adventure to come. I think my main concern with Vinland Saga is it's so kind of rich and epic. Like, I couldn't just sit and read volumes 1 to 10. It was kind of overwhelming, the kind of how much stuff you have to process and how much stuff goes on. So I kind of just like to read little chunks at a time and kind of like process it and then continue on with it. But yeah, that is absolutely everything that I read. I think I'm going to focus on getting to the end of Battle Royale next week, so we'll see how that one ends. I'm very much looking forward to it, although I will not be bringing it on the train. I will save reading Battle Royale to the privacy of my own bedroom, where I can vomit in peace. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!